So here we are. Welcome to the fifth and final video of this mini course. For this last lesson, I decided it could be a good idea to shift focus from the what to the how. Basically, if you think about it, all the stuff that we saw in the previous lessons was completely related to acquiring new things and slowly putting them together in order to create more complex musical elements. Now, instead, we're going to keep our what stable and we're going to change the way we're going to play that what. As a matter of fact, we're only going to play the beat in its most basic form, just like we did in lesson 1. But we are going to ask ourselves, how can we improve the way we're able to play this beat? Words won't be able to say enough for this, so let me give you a practical example of how the same groove can sound bad or good. Okay, I'm pretty sure everybody agrees that the second one was played better than the first one. But what exactly is the difference between those two examples? I think there are three main areas of how the groove of the first example could be improved. Number one, our limbs were too often out of sync, meaning that they were not actually playing together. Number two, we had bad dynamic balance between the limbs, meaning that the hi-hat was played too loud and the other instruments were not loud enough. And number three, the tempo was inconsistent. Now, if you ever recorded and listened back to yourself during these lessons, I'm sure you can correlate to at least one of these issues. So let's tackle those problems one at a time. For the first one, I will suggest you to spend some time just practicing those unisons. If you're having trouble playing the bass drum with the hi-hat, spend some time just playing those two together until they actually feel like a unison. For the second issue, start by lowering the volume of the hi-hat. This thing by itself should let the bass drum and the snare drum stand out even more right away. Also, this is not really a beginner thing, but if you can, try to hit rim shots with your snare, which means hitting the rim and the head at the same time. That's how you're going to make your snare pop out more, and that's also how you're going to break the majority of your sticks. And for the third issue, let me introduce you to your new best friend, the metronome. Being able to play along with a metronome is crucial in the modern drumming era. And it's also really easy to get one. Just download any metronome app on your phone. It might not be the easiest thing ever, but start with a low BPM value. Anything between 60 and 80 should be fine for this. Let the metronome play for a bit, and when you feel ready to come in with the groove, start playing along to it. You might have a little bit of trouble at first because you might be going a little bit faster or a little bit slower. But the beautiful thing is that once you sync in with the metronome, you'll be 100% sure that you'll be on time because the metronome doesn't fail. All right, I believe that's enough information for you to work on. When we started this mini course, I told you that at some point you would have to answer the question, does this practicing thing fit my persona? And now's the time that you have to answer that question, not to me, but to yourself. I really want to thank you, especially if you took the time to start this mini series and follow every single episode this far. If you enjoyed this mini series and want to keep going with your drumming journey, consider subscribing for more content coming to you very soon. Until then, I'll see you later, people.